We are interested in how this will look in the future. You touched on the topic that a woman does not fill a man, and so on. And here we have a question about future forms of business. Business as a couple, man and woman, solo, partnerships. There was even a question, apparently from a woman who is tired of all this. Will women be able to earn big money independently of men, but without, as you say, growing iron balls in business? So what forms of business will exist in the future? We already said that everything is moving toward corporate business, away from family businesses, and that is already happening. I would say very few manage to build something that can then be passed on to descendants in a way that stays in step with the times and remains interesting to them. This is already visibly happening. But what about partnerships? Or a business led by a woman, feminine and light, with thousands of employees and offices?
We need to make sure we do not confuse things. A light and gentle woman must not be timid, shy, overly accommodating, anxious, resentful, or indecisive.
But can a shy, overly accommodating woman
That is
really
no
build a
longer
huge
a woman.
business?
She can build a huge business if she has inner strength. When she has inner strength, when she knows she is loved, when she has her own inner boundaries for how and where she shows up in society, while still remaining a woman, not turning into arrogance, hyper-masculinity, or rigidity. I do not want to give examples, but this is when no one has to set boundaries for you. You still feel them. You do not step onto your neighbor's land. You do not swear loudly in front of children. It is that inner sensing. So we are talking about a woman. It is very important to understand if a woman does not want to take responsibility, if she wants to have painted nails and styled hair but zero intellect, she will not build a business. She still has to be educated, creative, active, cheerful, positive, light, joyful, and driven.
So without iron balls?
If she is snobbish, overly serious, rigid, and tries to do something, then the real question is this. Somewhere she must be able to hit the table and say, guys, I am still doing it this way. That means all qualities must exist within her, but in harmony.
This question is based on your view that most women who build large businesses have issues with their hormonal systems.
They break the balance.
In the future, as you say, we will become self-sufficient. Will a woman be able to become self-sufficient in business in the future?
In theory, yes.
In theory, yes?
In theory, yes. Let me give an example. If we constantly go to the gym and pump our muscles, do you know what happens? The muscles become blocked. Blood cannot flow. Micronutrients and vitamins cannot penetrate. Toxins cannot leave. So however much we work out, we must stretch and get a massage. Then it is healthy. The same applies to a woman. If she works in business, and that is intellect, creativity, decision-making, those are masculine hormones, testosterone. Then, when she comes home, she must express tenderness, charm, softness, kindness, sexuality. And the more intensively she works in business, the same level of intensity must appear in her feminine qualities. But most often, it goes like this. If I went into business, then I am a business lady. I have reinforced concrete iron balls, a lot of testosterone, and at home, I walk around with a tomahawk.
All men start to seem weak, and over time you think, why do I even need one?
This is a legacy of the old era, because women were born in masculine energies, and men in feminine ones. So women must constantly cultivate feminine energy to become harmonious, and men must cultivate masculine energy to become harmonious. But if a woman suppresses herself, thinking that is femininity, it is not femininity, it is even worse than being masculine. Because a shy, timid, indecisive, accommodating, anxious, resentful, constantly making excuses, woman is worse than 10 women who act like brutes, worse by orders of magnitude, because she destroys the world, destroys nature, destroys planet Earth, while pretending to be sweet. She is not sweet. This is the most toxic, energetic state that can exist. It is the destruction of everything. So women must be sincere, real, driven, positive, sexual. And what is sexuality? The absence of the past, interest in life, not I adapt and control from fear. As many modest women as I have seen, there is more malice in them than in the devil. They just cannot express it because they are afraid. What if I do not win? Every time someone is modest, it is insane pride with thoughts like, what if I look bad, so I will hide here and not stand out?
So, in theory, women will be able to be self sufficient in business in the future, in the new era.
Of course, yes, it already exists. We just need to step into this probable reality because there is such a thing as trust in God. God is inside us. God is us. And when we do something, we do not bet on, I will run, I will make it, I will get a result. That is how fear works. The opposite is, I do it with pleasure, I do it with love, I do it in embodied aliveness for myself and for others, and it will be as it should be, not as I planned. And when people begin to perceive the world this way, because that is how it truly is, it is just that through our fear, rigidity, claims, judgment, and indecision, we created conditions to believe it is different. In reality, God has always loved us and continues to love us. God has always created the best conditions for us and continues to do so. But everything is built on love, and we have clamped love shut. And when love is clamped, we get what we get. As I said, when there isn't enough love, it comes to us through hardship, through pain, challenges, and breakdowns. Why? Because we identify ourselves with what and who we are not. The moment we become man and woman again, the moment we do everything with pleasure. I will share a vivid example. I told clients that they do household chores and feel exhausted. The reason is the intention and the approach. When they changed it, the same person did the same work, but with the intention to enjoy it, to feel embodied aliveness while washing dishes, cleaning, cooking, going to the store. At the end of the day, they had enormous energy. It is simply attitude. And attitude creates either a minus or a plus, either development or degradation. We can do the same job in bliss and love, and it will multiply and make us wealthier and more successful. But if we do it in strain and burnout, it benefits no one. The first thing that appears is a self-destruction program. Because when there is no love, God does not supply energy there. We do not die, God does not kill us, and we kill ourselves because our values are wrong. From love, one result. From rightness, from fear, from because I must, that is always death.
Or people appear who treat us for that.
Yes, exactly. And they always appear. And the principle is this: mandatory development. Remember, we buy an apartment, renovate it, and leave for a long time. We return, I meet someone, do something, see something, learn more. And I realize the plumbing I personally chose no longer pleases me. I want different. The parquet I approved no longer pleases me. This is a sign that I am growing. And the key point, we need to allow ourselves to be spoiled. If there is an opportunity, we change the parquet, install new plumbing, and then we grow. But if we act from rightness, from rigidity, as we discussed earlier, some people who realized how powerfully love works, how they used it and how it worked, faced the fact that on planet Earth, enormous volumes of energy are spent on us living without love.
On holding back.
Yes, on suppression. Hundreds of times more energy is spent on that than we can even express. We are left with 1 to 2%. Everything else is spent on anger, aggression, depression, and hatred. And those people refuse to say openly what they came to and why. Even Tibetan monks know that love heals everything, changes everything, multiplies everything, and how it works. Just like if you want to be young and healthy. Remember, we said we do not make business. Our environment makes business. We choose the environment, and it either helps us or shapes us. The same with youth and health. It is not enough to be in love. We must surround ourselves with love, and then we will be young and healthy. The same with wealth. We must invest love everywhere. And then what happens? People begin to move intuitively toward love.
Okay, in the future, if we really move closer to this ideal of love, what kinds of businesses will exist?
Every possible kind, and they will all be creative.
Creative.
Let's look into the future present, the futurist one, the best possible version.
Let's do it.
Our public officials will be clairvoyant and loving. You know how you come to a saint, a wise person who sees everything, knows the future. That's how they'll be, like a true public servant who lives from love, like a priest at the same time, and also a curator of the whole system, saying, yes, this is what you should do, and you should invest over here, and I'll give you these opportunities. In other words, they must carry that inner potential, and in this futurist future we're talking about, a love-based future, officials will be chosen not because they belong to some party or pass through quotas, but because they are in love. We might take such a public servant from Indonesia or India or southern China and place them here because they carry the vision and the sensitivity to see how each person can build their business in the best way. One person will be approved for this, another for that, because they will see how it is meant to unfold, and they will create the conditions so that everyone multiplies love on planet Earth, and through that becomes prosperous. But this prosperity will come through the multiplication of their own inner development.
So public officials will mostly be citizens of the same country where they live, like now?
I see that they won't. It's like a family business. You can't limit yourself to specialists from within the family. You have to hire the very best and measure how much love they carry, how effective they are in that love, in that role.
So this kind of integration is actually welcome.
Ideal, because in the end, all of us will have to become cosmopolitans. Everything that's happening to us now comes from a lack of love.
So territories will stop influencing us so strongly?
No, they will influence us just as much as they do now. Only we'll use that influence instead of suffering from it. We'll get the most out of every resource we have.
Okay, then let's move to the next question because we have so many, but the conversation is so alive and real that sometimes I'll just interrupt you with them. What will infobusiness look like in the future? How will social networks transform? It's already clear that the question is really about social networks, and infobusiness is more like a side effect of their existence.
In one country, I'm deliberately not naming it because I'm talking about the future, and what matters is not what is now, but what I know. There was a politician who seriously took on dishonest advertising. You know, when a product is promoted but doesn't actually have the qualities and parameters that are claimed.
That happens everywhere.
And when he started pushing against this, huge corporations resisted. So he had to involve intelligence agencies, the government, all his connections, and pass laws so that this fake messaging would stop being forced on people. Because when people don't feel love and don't feel themselves, they can be easily influenced by advertising. And if advertising companies are really good at what they do, they study psychology and can sell absolutely anything. So this politician forced the government to pass laws about mismatches between advertising and the real product, so that producers would pay fines and stop doing it. This applied to financial pyramids and to products whose real qualities didn't match what was promised. It was an extremely difficult battle because people were choosing money, which is degeneration and death. And I'll say it again, for love to exist on planet Earth, we simply need to create conditions where those who currently spend enormous energy suppressing love. Why love? Because we are all love. We are made of love. The whole world is made of love. And what blocks it? Beliefs, limitations, and rigid rightness. Love naturally finds harmony and creates conditions. We see this in how the body heals itself, or how plants know exactly what to do. It is the state of love working within them. So what does this mean? I'm circling back after this small detour, back to Infobusiness. We need to evaluate how useful Infobusiness is, how much it develops children, youth, men, women, business audiences, how much love is in it, and how well and fairly it is structured for each person. Roughly speaking, we shouldn't be tailoring only size M for everyone. It might fit a few, but for many it will be too tight, or they'll simply get lost in it. It's better when we sew many sizes, when we provide information for cholerics, phlegmatics, sanguines, for creative people, for analytical minds, when we offer a wide spectrum. And the most interesting thing is that artificial intelligence will easily help us with this. Why? Because we'll upload massive amounts of information for it to process. And within that information, we'll mark what carries love. And it will help us deliver what is truly useful for people.
So Social networks will integrate artificial intelligence as much as possible.
And there's no such thing as bad or good. We can't say a chair is good or bad. It depends on how we use it. The same is true for artificial intelligence. It's a wonderful tool if it's used for its true purpose, for love.
Okay, but will artificial intelligence actually be used for love?
We're talking about the futurology of the best future, the best probable reality we are choosing to move into. What are we doing? We're drawing it closer by speaking about it. Where attention goes, energy flows. So we remove our attention from what doesn't serve us, we stop feeding it, and it fades away.